We're back, and we were talking with Heather Menacucci, who is also, by the way, an intern here at Newstalk Television, and we're very happy to have her with us. You were a latchkey child. You were telling us about your positive experiences that you were having. Was there a time, though, you said that your mom and your grandmother were watching over you, and you had some rules in the house, and you followed them, and you were self-reliant, and it all helped you.
Right.
But was there a time, Heather, where you might have been influenced by whatever, and you could have gone the other way?
I mean, maybe it sounds a little like utopian or something, but I really never had situations like that. I lived in a nice neighborhood. I mean, the worst thing I ever did was eating all the Flintstones vitamins. That is what I did. I mean, that was the worst thing I did.
Well, you had a very positive experience, and I know that just a second, Dr. Morris has been shaking his head, because if we look at this, and on the other side of the fence, there are some serious problems that I know you want to share with us. Tell us about it.
This is all well and good, all right, with all due respect. But what I need to impress upon people is that the people you are seeing here, the people you are hearing about, wonderful parent over here, good system, it sounds like, everything's intact, that's not what I see. That's not, I am here to talk to you about.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it. What do you see? What do you see?
Do you know that the highest rate of teenage suicide in this country is right in Westchester County? Middle class and upper middle class families mostly, 1 out of every 2 children comes from a single parent family. This is from the New York Times, recent data, 1995, out of the oven, okay? We've got people out there, young people, 6 to 16, you know, give or take a year or two.
Yeah.
They're doing things to themselves you can't even let your imagination wander to think about, okay? These children are swallowing things, cutting themselves in ways you can't imagine, and they have parties where they do it themselves. I'll give you one example in terms of suicide, okay? And any suicidologist that's working in the clinical foxholes, not writing books, but down in the foxholes with us, all right, sees this. They're not sitting home following the rules and eating Flintstones vitamins, which are useless anyway, by the way. The key to it is they're putting belts around their neck and reaching an ejaculation or climax and then falling off and hanging themselves and things like that. This is what we see.
There's no question.
This is not just one little isolated case.
There's no question
Folks,
there's a serious
wake
problem
up.
here.
It's growing. This Allentown survey.
How much blame do you put on these the latchkey syndrome, the fact that they're home alone? How much emphasis do you put on that?
I have to qualify that. I put a lot of emphasis and the onus is on the system that is supposed to care for and take care of these children.
Yes.
These ladies have outlined a system with which I agree that can be very successful. I think there's more elements that have to be put into it, which is what we gave to Frankie when he needed it the most, okay? When he was down and injured and so on. But the key to it is you're not seeing and hearing from nice phone call from somewhere, I hid in the closet for a few years. That's not what we're seeing.
There's no question that we absolutely have to put many more supports into our communities. This issue we hear in Allentown, you hear everywhere kids are scared. They can't use their parks. They can't go out and play like they used to. We absolutely have to put more money into after-school programs, and we have to find more ways that we're going to support children and families throughout this.
No. We've got to put more money and effort into parental training. I say that what we need to do is every person who is pregnant, with or without a spouse, or a lover or a mate at that time, needs to go through, just like we have driver training before you get a driver's license, truck driver training,
parental training,
truck driver license. It's got to be a licensing, certifying course to be a parent. And these things we brought up. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, the system we have isn't working, folks. We're losing them left and right. Okay?
Okay, makes the point. Yes,
I can understand, as you know, looking at me, I'm the senior citizen of the group. And I can understand some of the things you're seeing. Now, a parent does have to work, and what does a parent do when they work? They're at the other end of a telephone. For years, I worked for a Yale registry, and I thought that was enough to have the phone there. You lay down the rules, you have good children, you're a Christian home, and my daughter, in growing up, said, you weren't there when I needed you. And then, when my husband and I broke up, I have a younger son that I had no idea that this young boy, he never asked any questions. And when I found out that he was popping pills and taking stuff, what does a parent do when they try to put forth every effort there is?
Exactly.
It goes back to,
that
like
does
I
happen,
said,
and it happens a lot.
Straight out of Brooklyn, I live in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I live in a drug-infested area, okay? But I sit down and I talk with my son, not to him, with him. You know what I'm saying? My son is not 11, and he still gets in bed with mommy.
When
you know
you talk,
it's how you treat your child.
Sweetheart, he had all the love in the world.
All right.
But you know what, my mom, she gave me everything.
There are situations that you give them all the love, you give them all the attention, and something still goes wrong.
Were you home a lot?
Huh?
Of course I was.
You were home a lot?
I wasn't home.
Did your
all the
working
time.
hours, interfere with him being home? Was there a void for a certain time while you were at work?
Perhaps. But there were always neighbors and friends around.
But when you
because
were
we lived in a
home, see,
small-
this was it.
Okay,
When
help
you're
us
home
out
with
here.
your
Was
child,
television-
doing things
I
with them.
I also don't think that we can assume the blame for everything. I really, truly do not. I think in some instances, things don't always work out the way we want. There might have been some things that we might have done that might have prevented it, but on the other hand, we can sit back and sort of say, maybe, maybe, maybe. And I'm not even convinced that a parenting course would have really, it might have supported you, but I'm not convinced. And so I think some things don't work out the way we really
A
hope.
parenting course would allow us to stop what I call two behaviors. A, dumping behavior, and B, pawning behavior, okay? And when you have all this, well, let me see where I can put you today, and let me see, and the child
But she
gets
wasn't-
that
she
feeling.
wasn't-
No,
but she
no,
was-
I'm not saying
She wasn't
she.
in that.
I'm not saying it's she. I don't know her particular case. I didn't do therapy with her. What I am saying is in those cases, over the years of the therapy that I and my colleagues have done, and we are holistic, so we're not handing out drugs, all right? We are natural medicine doctors, as Frankie can attest. And what we recommend is what you've recommended in your book and what you said there, talking with your child and so on, being there, what Frank was trying to say, you're there. If you're working full-time, as I am, and my family and so on, but the quality time, underline the word quality, when those few moments, those precious moments each day that
they
you
count.
have to make.
They count.
And if the child gets the feeling that he or she understands intellectually that you can't be there because you're trying to provide all these good things for him or her, but at the same time they understand that they are loved, and you don't tell them, you know I love you, you know I love you.
You got to show them.
Your
gotta show the
have to match the
Absolutely.
words.
Dr. Morris, thank you. Let me just go to the lines right now. Illinois. Let's go out to Illinois. And Diane, I think you're on the line right now. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you,
Diane.
Ernie. I think we need to get rid of the 8 to 5 mentality of our corporations and our schools. What we need is flexibility.
Okay.
So that parents can go to work at different times to be home when their children are home. Maybe we need the year-round school. And it doesn't necessarily mean 3 hours taught in the summer, but it can be computer literacy courses. It could be the parenting courses that he's talking about.
Right.
Other courses that these kids could enjoy. It might be making potholders at 7 and 8.
Right.
It could be learning other
We
courses.
need to get creative here. We need to come up with some new ideas.
And we got to get
You're
rid
right.
of this 8 to 5 mentality that you have to go to work at 8 in the morning and be home at 5 o'clock.
Okay, Diane, thank you very much for your phone call. You raise a great issue here, and we are going to continue to talk about this. You know, are there solutions to this situation? What do we come up with? Now, you were just talking about work schedules and perhaps what employers should be doing. There are other ideas. We want to hear from you. We're going to continue our program. We'll be back right after this.
use your dining room table takes. Stains, scratches, burns can eventually ruin your good table. But you can protect your table and keep it looking new with a table pad from Factory Direct Table Pad Company. By ordering direct from the factory, you'll save up to 60% off retail. Prices start as low as $39.95. We make our table pads the old-fashioned way, hand-tailored with washable leatherette surface and 100% flannel backing. Our pads protect your table from temperatures up to 500 degrees and are guaranteed up to 20 years. They come in a variety of colors and fold up for ease of handling. They're so sturdy they can be stored upright. With the help of our friendly telephone staff, your table pad will fit perfectly. Your dining room table is a valuable investment. Protect that investment and add elegance to your dinners with a table pad from Factory Direct Table Pad Company. Call 1-800-309-PADS and we'll send you this free information kit with everything you need to order, including color swatches. Save up to 60% on your deluxe table pad. Call 1-800-309-PADS. That's 1-800-309-7237.
Join these News Talk hosts for discussions on the news stories that affect you. Today's news, today's talk, only on News Talk Television.
Do you have an idea for a new product or invention that you'd like to submit to companies? If so, there's information from Invention Submission Corporation to help get you started. ISC is America's largest invention service organization with over 50 offices nationwide. We help people like you submit their ideas to companies. Call this toll-free number now and we'll send you this free information. It includes an important document that assures confidentiality, a form for recording and dating your invention, and an informative brochure which tells you how to proceed with submitting your invention to companies through the ISC data bank as well as various other means. Even if you only have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll want to call now for ISC's free information.
For your inventor's information, call toll-free 1-800-715-2422. That's 1-800-715-2422. Call now.
Be part of our live studio audience. Write for free tickets to News Talk Television, 303 West 34th Street, New York, New York 10001. Or call us at 212-643-4744. The number again, 212-643-4744. Latchkey children joining us live by video call. Let's go to San Francisco, California. We'll meet right now Erica Powelson. She is a Kid Call Coordinator at Lucille Salter Packard Children's Hospital at Stanford. Now, Kid Call is a toll-free telephone line designed for young people who are home alone. Now, Erica, thanks for joining us. Tell us how this works. How does this free toll call work?
Okay, well, kids can call in. We're open from Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. It's a 1-800 number designed for kids in the 9-county Bay Area. And someone quoted the statistic earlier in the program. About 22% of kids from age 5 to 14 are home alone in the United States. So we decided that's about 185,000 children in our area. So we have developed a 1-800 number in conjunction with the local television station who helps fund it. And we are open for kids. We have trained adult volunteers who just answer the lines and talk to kids.
Well, Erica, tell us about some of the phone calls that you're getting. What are they calling about? What kind of questions do they have? What kind of problems are they having?
Okay, by and large, probably 75 to 80% of the calls we get are just from bored kids. We suggest that we'll help with homework. We tell them that if they have a problem, they can call us. But well over 70–75% of our calls are definitely from just bored kids. We read a lot of stories. We tell a lot of jokes. We just listen to what happened at school that day.
So they just need somebody to talk to, is what you're saying, Erica.
Exactly right. They just want somebody to talk to. A lot of times, mom and dad are not able to just take that time in the afternoon when they're at work to just talk about what's going on. They're available for the kids for a problem, but not just to talk. So we're there just to talk with the kids.
What about this study that we've been talking about, how so many of these latchkey children are getting in trouble with drugs and alcohol? How do you react to that from what you're getting on your service?
Okay, well, we've received about 7,400 calls that we answered in our first year. And keep in mind, we're only open 3 hours a day. We are not getting a lot of those kinds of problems at all. Most of the kids that call us, whether they like being home or not, it's just a reality for them.
Yeah.
So they are not, we don't sense a lot of resentment or anger or the fact that, you know, that they're going to get into trouble. But we do deal with a younger audience. Mostly, you know, 8 to 12-year-olds is our prime audience. So they're, you know, they're more concerned with what's going on with their friends, things like that.
Erica, do they talk? You said that they say that they're bored. Do they tell you that they're angry, that they don't like their situation, or they're having a real problem with their parents communicating?
Not really. No, they, you know, they just express a lot of boredom. The fact that, you know, they've played all their computer games, there's nothing on TV. Some of them are not able to go out and play with their friends or have friends over because of the different areas that they might live in. So no, we personally are not sensing a lot of that. But our program is not set up to, you know, to really say if it's good or bad to be a latchkey child. We're only set up to say it's a reality, and we want to be there to talk to the kids.
Understand. Yeah, Joan?
Erica, one of the things I think that parents have really got to do is tune into their kids' interests and really have around a lot of materials that the child can pursue. For instance, if the child is really at this point interested in magic, really go to the shop with them and pick out some magic tricks that they could work on, get a book, let them be able to make magic capes, and sort of really help them to kids have to have the props so that they can go ahead and pursue some of their interests. And I think these years 6 to 12 are critical to expose kids to interests that have the potential of becoming lifelong interests so that they can become interested and do some of these things.
Can I ask something?
Yes, go ahead, Erica.
I would just like to stress one thing, too, that makes our program unique, and that is the fact that we are not a crisis line. We are strictly a line to provide comfort and information. Our particular phone line is supported and backed up by pediatric nurses that are in the same room with us answering another phone line. So if any sort of crisis call comes in, it is handled by a professional, but that's not what we're set up to do.
Joan, have you noticed an increase in phone calls? Have you had an increase in the number of young people that are calling you?
Well, we've only been open since April of '94. So yeah, the numbers keep rising.
They do.
I mentioned before that we've answered 7,400 calls. We've actually received over 18,000, but that doesn't. That doesn't mean they didn't all come in at the right time, since we're only open after school hours.
I understand. Erica, you stay with me here. Joan, you want to grab that board here, because we want to do this. This is very interesting. Now you've put together this Family Message Center board. We also have it up on the big screen right there. Why don't you walk us through this, Joan? How does this work?
You know, we were talking a little bit about some of the kinds of things, and one of the things is the whole issue of family safety, and we're just kind of highlighting some of the stuff that we already talked about and sort of practicing what one would do and sort of having some kind of family rules. It might be fun for families to also think about the shows that the kids can watch and what shows they can't. Having, in terms of the hobbies, fun things to do, and listing them out, and then reviewing them each night and having them over a week. Emergency phone calls, the recipe for the no-baked snacks, and then sort of making sure that you've got some kinds of schedule to each week and some kind of routine to each day, because routines are really liberating and not constraining. And,
what else is on that board, Joan?
Some kinds of fun things to read. And
so it's direction again. You're giving the children direction. Yolanda, this is what you're doing. Do you use a board? Do you use a board?
I use the refrigerator. That's how centralize everything.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, it's other than just the TV, but you have to have a number of things. My son likes music, so I went out and I had to invest in a thing for him. You know, if we can invest in cars and houses and clothes, why can't we invest in our kids?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, tell you what, we're going to take a break. Erica, we're going to come back to you, get a little bit more from you in San Francisco about your Kid Call program. I think that's very interesting. And we'll also hear from our panelists. We'll be back right after these messages. Let's talk about solutions, more solutions to the problem, right after these messages.
How How can you find out more about the stories that affect you? Tune in to Newstalk Television. Newstalk Television's weekday programming begins at 9 a.m. Eastern Time with the Early Edition, hosted by Lisa Maria, a highly rated talk radio host and founder of the Guardian Angels. Following at noon is the Daytime Edition, hosted by Ernie Anastas, a 17-year veteran of the news industry, including WCBS News. Next up at 3 is the Afternoon Edition, hosted by Denise Richardson, a popular correspondent from Good Morning America. The Primetime Edition at 7:30 is hosted by Patrick Halpin from Public Broadcasting's talk show Face Off. News Talk Television's Final Edition at 10 is hosted by Vladimir Posner, a top political commentator and international news personality. Today's News, Today's Talk, a channel designed for cable's future, available to viewers today. News Talk Television.
Country Weekly, the national magazine devoted exclusively to country music's hottest stars. Every action-packed issue brings you the latest concert schedules, music events, and news from the country music arena. Learn the exciting electric slide and the fun-loving, foot-stomping, popular tush-push, and find out why country's hottest ladies are dyeing their hair red. To an inside look at Loretta Lynn's luxurious country mansion, Country Weekly is there.
Call now, 1-800-358-8834.
No time to keep up with the Simpson trial? Join Lisa Maria, legal experts, and viewers around America for a unique perspective on courtroom events today on News Talk Television.
New bag, keep on the half liter hanging. Give me a sack, Paul. Here you go. I need x-rays on the back.
Need a central line kit? I have a patient wearing a medical alert bracelet. He's hypertensive and on beta blocker.
Abdomen sore.
Trying to get to our studio audience and our phone calls. We were talking about Kid Call out in San Francisco. Erica was telling us about this program where children, latchkey kids that are home alone are calling, and they're giving them some positive information. And unfortunately, a lot of these kids are bored, and they're just trying to read to them or just listen to them. There are other programs like that. In fact, Todd wants to share one that's going on somewhere in the Midwest, Minneapolis?
In Minneapolis, Ernie, that's correct. This appeared off the internet in the Star Tribune in Minneapolis. And it's saying that they have a program for the kids after school, the younger kids, 10, 13, that age. Yes. Anti-graffiti program teaching them the respect of the environment. They have programs on rock climbing, enhance other skills, all kinds of skills, karate. And then they go on to say that this program has become a model for other programs because the kids are given something to do. And that's the main point of this. If they're given something worthwhile to do, they'll do it.
That's terrific. And Deborah Levine is joining us right now. Deborah, you are a mother of 2 children.
That's correct.
You, I understand, are trying to start some type of a program.
Correct.
For these children?
In the elementary school district where I live on Long Island, I'm trying to get an after-school program going from 3 to 6 p.m.
Yes.
For the elementary school students who need care or perhaps just want a social and educational type of situation after school, whether it be for a single parent who can't care for their kids at home, whether it's a dual-income family, or whatever other kind of situation.
What kind of cooperation are you getting now?
I am not getting that much cooperation from where I need the cooperation. It's really a grassroots effort because it's me and some of my neighbors who really have to form the basis of the need in the community. I've approached the school board of education on 2 occasions. And I've presented all of the details.
And you've shown that there is a need.
Yeah, well, I believe that there is a need in the district, just from my informal discussions. And in terms of getting that need on paper and doing a needs assessment in the district, I am not able to get the approval. I have not yet been able to get the approval from the district. They just want me to sort of go away, and they just feel like...
Any suggestions here?
We're seeing more and more friendly companies, and we talked a little bit about corporations. It might be interesting to take a very modest proposal to a company that you know is really supporting your community and might be willing to offer some sort of...
Actually, I'm a board member of the Child Care Council of Nassau County, and this is a referral agency, and we try to work with corporations as well.
Okay.
I am a practicing attorney in Hempstead. I work full-time. I've done so since my son was 1 year old.
Are you worried about the children?
Well, I now have care. I bring a sitter to watch him after school, and my daughter is in a preschool program that also goes until 6 o'clock. But my question is, when it's 3:15 and there's somebody needs to be at the school bus to pick him up, there's nobody there unless I can get some outside service. So for me, it's constantly hiring babysitters. If they're not available, juggling my schedule. I believe that the public school, since they have the space in the public school, is a way to provide a service, a needed service in the community for many people in the community who need this service, and to keep the kids there in a nice atmosphere.
Deborah, we wish you good luck with your efforts, okay? We hope it works out. Thank you very much. And that's really nice that she's trying to do that. Okay, let's talk about solutions. We don't have too much time left. Joan, let's start with you. Recap one more time. What should we do?
Well, we should continue to try to work with corporations. We try to influence every single one of our Congress people that we know. And we should, in terms of children and families, tune into our kids' interests, work with our kids, and see if we can't get more options in our community.
Okay, Erica, you're tuned into the young people out there in California. Give us some advice. What should we be doing to help?
I would just say let your kids know what else is out there. I mean, we try and let people know about Kid Call. Make sure they know the emergency phone numbers, their neighbors' phone numbers. If they do need to stay home alone, try and have activities there for them and other outsource, sources for them to call.
Okay, Dr. Morris, very good. There is a lot that we're hearing about that we can do, but again, the seriousness of the problem.
In terms of solutions, I don't have any magic for you. I know that all these solutions theoretically really seem fine to me and intact. However, it's putting the cart before the horse. What we need to do is find a way to show these children at as young an age as possible.
Right, start them early.
Truly do love them.
Yep.
Even though we can't be with them all the time.
Right.
And we need to show the parents through required educational certification courses how to do that.